This is a how-to video on doing metrics in MyManual. To prepare, you're going to log into MyManual, click the button over here, the More drop down to get to the attendance entry. At the same time, you're going to be opening the Excel document for the weekend metrics. You'll note that there's headings on the tops and bottoms, and you want to set up yourself for the week that you're going to be entering. For this upcoming Sunday will be November 12th. So we'll fill in the boxes. You can see where previous data was entered. And also note that there's a 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. service. In the MyManual tab on one screen, it's suggested to have the metrics document opened on another. It's easier than switching back and forth, so dual screen is best if possible. You'll choose Sunday services and the date for the previous Sunday. You choose the time of the service, 9 a.m. or 11, and then we're going to start in Spring Lake Park campus. Click record attendance. That'll allow you to be able to see the attendance records for each of the categories that will be entered into the metric sheet. The parking lot spaces is the one item that is not entered into the metric sheet. And in order to get the summary for the sanctuary, you're going to take the total of this section in the balcony, section 6, all the way down to section 5, adding those together to give a grand total. These numbers get entered into sanctuary 9 a.m. for all the totals for the sanctuary, and then you'll see that it goes by age and service. So 9 a.m., hit 2 spaces, go 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds, all the way through, and then doing the same over here for the elementary side. You can do that based on campus. So in the MyManual tab, you're going to be able to not only choose 9 a.m. for SLP, but if you change your campus designation, you can do the 9 a.m. service for Maple Grove and Elk River. Suggestion is to do the campus all at one time for the 9 a.m. and the 11 a.m. service, as well as volunteers in one swoop, and then switch over to the other campus, Maple Grove, do all of theirs, and then do all of Elk River in order to make sure to get all data into the right spots. After you've done the 11 a.m. service and you've been able to record all of the data on the side, for that one, you can click Change Setting. Then we're going to go into our volunteer count. To do volunteer count, you're going to click the volunteer grouping, and we're going to start with the 9 a.m. service. You'll notice over here we have a smaller list, and there's check-in for our volunteers. There's a 9 a.m. for Campus Life. Watchmen will be the same for both services and show as 8. If there's a record button left blank, that means that we don't have any data on that position right now, and we'll click Need Data in a comment over the box that it would have been recorded in. We'll enter in all the information here. Notice though that we have a 9 a.m. kids service group, and in our metrics report, in the volunteer summary tab, there is an overall total for kids. Often I like to type in the amount of kids from the first service, leave that bold, and then go on to second service so that I can make sure that I add those two together and give the proper count. If any of the numbers seem to be missing for Campus Life, Watchmen, Hispanic leaders if they're listed, Sunday kids, or Starting Point, I reach out to the individuals that are overseeing those areas. For production and worship, if they need assistance in those areas, we reach out to the worship department, but at this time we're pausing on reaching out until Pastor Mark Allen gets back, and that part of the department is covered for attendance purposes. So that's the whole section on volunteers. We would then do our volunteer count at the 11 a.m. and do the same process, adding together again the kids ones. And then we would switch campuses and do the exact same thing for each of the campuses. After all that data has been entered, it can be saved for the volunteer and for the attendance detail. It's important to click Save and then click over to the Attendance Summary tab. In the Attendance Summary tab, in order to get the overall totals from the weekend, we want to copy and paste the formulas. This section of data is actually all formula driven and pulled from the other sheets that follow over here. You'll notice if you click on one of these that it shows you the formula there. In order to make the numbers appear collectively, you're going to select it, copy, paste for each of the sections here. That allows the count to show up from pulling on the previous section back here in the attendance detail and the volunteer summary. So you don't have to enter these in, it'll auto-generate after you've completed it. Saving that, then you can go into an email and be able to send the metrics report out to the people that need to receive that information. To do so, click new email. Email will generate, and you'll type in metrics report. You'll notice in the metrics report it has the department admins as well as some staff and then the ministry staff for the report. Type in metrics report update, attach the file, and send out the report. That is the process for being able to do the initial data entry for a Sunday metrics report, which is added on Monday afternoon and sent out by end of day. If needed, there is space to do the previous Wednesday and to do the same process of selecting Wednesday services, 7 p.m., and looking at the campus, as well as doing volunteer 7 p.m., and entering the data into the attendance detail tab, as well as the volunteer summary tab. All that information is compiled in an alternate video. There'll be some descriptions on how to do new guest counts if you're adding new guest counts into the metrics report. Although those are not included in the totals shown on the front page, they're just a collective whole that we can look at and be able to see our church growth. Thank you so much for helping with metrics, and see you soon.